Hello, Kickstarter. Well, as I was driving home after dropping the kids off to school this morning, I realized that this is the most important video I'm yet to make. We have to talk about something that I probably should have stressed earlier on in the Kickstarter campaign, but it nicely segues into our post-Kickstarter relationship, and that's accountability. If you read a lot of flights and forums, many of the people not backing the project are asking the same question, and that's actually a sentiment shared by many of the backers as well. The question is, how do you guys know that we're going to deliver the project that we say we will deliver? Are we going to keep our promise? And the answer to that is a very confident yes. The reason why I'm saying it with such confidence is twofold. First of all, there is the accountability part of this equation. And secondly, the project that we're doing is very limited in scope, specifically to be easily deliverable. And I'm going to explain each one of those points in detail. First, let's talk about accountability. When a developer develops a video game, there's always the intangible part of it, which is his reputation. If you know anything about me, you will agree that my reputation is totally riding on the success of this project. I'm also working with a lot of my friends on this project, some of the people I've worked with and been friends with for over a decade. If we don't deliver on our promises, then they will lose their jobs as well. And I will feel personal responsibility for my friends being out of the job, which is something that is very important for me, something that I feel very strongly about. In addition to reputation loss, which is often the only thing that game developers risk when developing a new project, we have some more specific responsibilities here that have to do with us running this Kickstarter campaign. Kickstarter is not a charitable donation. It is a contract between the developer and the backer that makes me personally responsible to every single person who put money in the project to deliver the features that were promised. Like I've mentioned previously, we already have majority financing for this project. We have as much of a budget as we had on every single project we've done in the past. We have just enough to barely make it by the skin of our teeth and push it out the door. We don't want to do that, and nobody involved with the project wants to do that. So that's why we realized we need to look for additional funds. And again, we could have gone several ways about doing that. We have the money to keep developing the project internally for a while. So say 6 months from now, when we have an alpha build, when we have the Normandy landscape, when we have some planes flying over it, we could have had a very strong presentation we could have made. And instead of doing a Kickstarter way, say, we could have done a pre-order on our website, which, given the strong presentation we would have made 6 months from now, could have easily gathered as much or perhaps even more money than this Kickstarter campaign. At the same time, our responsibilities would have been a lot more vague, where we could have played around with features, we could have played around with dates and so on, and we'd have more flexibility with how we deliver our promises to the people who would have pre-ordered the game. We decided to do this much earlier in the development in order to build the project from the very beginning with the features that the people want. We're very glad we did it this way. We're very glad we had this dialogue and we could gauge people's interest and see what they're interested in and what they want and what they don't want in the product. But it all comes at a cost. Since we're doing a Kickstarter, we are obligated to deliver on our promises. We have to deliver the game with the features listed on the page, and we have to give each backer the rewards that they selected when they backed this project. If you'll notice, those rewards don't just say, well, we'll deliver a game plus a t-shirt or something. They list specific things like the number of flyable aircraft and so on. So we have to give those out to our backers. And if we don't, we're liable for refunds to pretty much all of our backers. And tied in with my reputation, if I were not to deliver a good game that satisfies over 2,000 Kickstarter backers in the time frame that I promised, with the features that I promised, not only would I be out of a job in a year and a half, off flipping burgers somewhere, I would also be responsible for refunding $150,000 to Kickstarter backers. And so there is this very strong pressure on me to deliver the product that I said I will deliver. And why am I confident that I can do it? This is my second point. We are doing this project specifically to be lean and simple. When we were planning it out on paper this spring, we sat down and we looked at all of the options and all of the things that we wanted to do, and we systematically cut it down to keep it simple. And this is exactly what we are promising. Once again, we could have had a much stronger presentation if we promised you guys the sky full of diamonds. We're not doing that. We're not talking about the things we want to do to artificial intelligence, even though we do. We kind of mention the things we want to do with multiplayer, but we specifically say that we're making no promises whatsoever on multiplayer features, specifically because we're not 100% certain we can deliver them on time. And there's even more features that we would have liked to add to this project, but we're not, because we are trying to keep it simple. The project that we say we will deliver basically consists of very simple parts. We have aircraft design, we have landscape design, and we have the content, the single player and multiplayer missions and campaigns. All of those things are known. This is a very important thing that a lot of people who are not in the industry don't realize about software development. Most people with their regular jobs, they are doing something based on some kind of a known template. They follow the same kind of script. There are some difference, but basically you know exactly what you will be doing. There are some unknown features, but most of it is known. You keep doing what you're good at, you keep getting better at it, and each time you start on a new job, you know pretty much exactly what to expect. This is often not the case with video game development or with software development, because you often have to break new ground. This is why, for example, the P-51 in DCS took so long to make, because they were breaking new ground. They were doing something they have not done before, and they were doing something that no one has done before. And that is why, if you look at the aircraft video that I released a few days ago, Dima Yo-Yo, the programmer who spent over a year of his time making that plane, talks at length at all of the difficulties and challenges he faced while making the P-51. And if you'll keep watching the same video, you'll notice the difference in his demeanor when he talks about the Spitfire that he's going to make for DCS World War II. And if you'll notice, he says that it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to take up to 5 months to make an airplane, which is 1/3 or even less of the time that it took to make the P-51. Why is it so easy? Because P-51 was brand new, and the Spitfire follows the tracks laid down by the P-51. And that's the case for all of the airplanes we're making for DCS World War II. There are some unknowns, but they're very little. Most of the things are based on existing code, and so they can be done a lot easier. The 3D work for aircraft is even more of a no-brainer, because we know exactly what we're doing. Every single person making airplanes and cockpits for DCS World War II has built many other planes and cockpits for my previous projects. They know aviation, they know blueprints inside and out. Many of them have actually done some work for DCS already. For example, the cockpit for the Focke-Wulf 190 D9 Dora that is going to be coming out soon in DCS World was built by an RRG employee, the person who is now building the BF-109 cockpit for DCS World War II. So again, we can look at the blueprints, we can look at the plane systems, and we know exactly what needs to be done because all of the requirements are known in advance. We have first-hand experience building all of these things for DCS engines specifically. We can look at this and we can say that this is how much time it's going to take to build this plane and this cockpit and so on and so forth. And we can just put it all in a schedule, and again, we have more than enough time and more than enough people to make all of the 3D work for all of the airplanes that we want to do for DCS World War II. Secondly, landscape, once again. None of the things that we're doing are an unknown. We know exactly how many 3D objects we need to build, all of the buildings and all that stuff. We know exactly how much time it takes for that kind of building to be created. Again, we have enough personnel to do all of that. Landscape design, meshing, placing all of the objects on the landscape, again, is a known. Kirill, who you've met in the previous video, this wouldn't be, Normandy would not be the first or second or third landscape that he's doing in the engine. So he's very proficient and he's very knowledgeable, and he can very accurately estimate the amount of time it takes for each task to be completed. So Normandy landscape, again, we have more than enough time to do it well with the people that we have and within the time that we have. So landscape is, again, something that we can be confident in being able to deliver it. Literally, the only risk is that a key employee will get hit by a bus. We have enough cushion built into the project for the testing for us to be able to recover even from that. So I have a very high degree of confidence in our ability to complete the project. The last component I mentioned, content making, is the project that we have the most free time on. We have two very qualified people scheduled to build the missions for DCS World War II. They're proficient with the mission editor in DCS specifically. They know it inside and out. We know how many missions, everything that we have to do for the content. We know how long it takes to make a mission. So we are very comfortable in our belief that this is another task that we will be able to complete on time and within the budget that we have. And this is literally everything that we promise. The aircraft, the landscape, and the content goes with it. We have enough people, we have enough time, and we have enough money, especially with Kickstarter's help, to keep working on this project as long as it takes us to do it well. And not only that, but we're building in a nice, comfortable testing period that in case of something unexpected actually going wrong, we still have that cushion where we can fix things before the game goes to release. And that is why I really want to make these points. I really want you guys to look at the promises that we're making and see that we are specifically, perhaps to the detriment of our marketing and our ability to raise funds, we are making this project very simple in scope. And so this is something that we will be talking about a lot during the development. I really want to keep this relationship going. If there's one thing I learned from Kickstarter, is that it's very important to have a very close, constant dialogue with your fans, because it allows you to understand exactly what they want. And this is what I really want to keep doing after the Kickstarter campaign ends. I want to continue having a relationship with the backers. I'm really looking forward to future development updates that we do for the backers and for the public, where we cover all of the details of working on all of the features that I've just listed. So to reiterate, my most important point is that the reason why we're confident we can make DCS World War II a success is because it is specifically designed to be lean and mean. We're looking forward to working with all our backers. If you have backed the project, you have my sincere thanks, and I'm really looking forward to working with you guys after the Kickstarter campaign ends. Thank you very much for watching this video.